Hey folks, my name is Pravus and welcome to more Plague Inc. Evolved custom scenarios. Today we're going to try out a scenario based on a movie called Osmosis Jones. Now you guys might remember this one. It's focused around the Red Death, La Muerta Roja, also known as Thrax, a very lethal virus capable of killing people in less than 2 days. Our goal is to get our own chapter in the medical textbooks and maybe destroy all of humanity in the process. And this actually is going to be a bioweapon. Wow, I haven't played one of these in forever. I actually don't even remember how these play now that I think about it. Extremely lethal, going to be a little bit tricky. We'll play on brutal difficulty today, but I'm not going to do mega brutal. I am very out of practice with the bioweapon. For whatever reason, almost no one ever wants to create those. Ebola, let me tell you something about Ebola, baby. Ebola is a case of dandruff compared to me. You see this here little DNA bead comes from a little girl in Riverside, California. Didn't like to wash her hands. Took me 3 whole weeks. And this one, nice lady in Detroit, Motown, 6 days flat. Then there's this old guy in Philly, I killed him in 72 hours. Oh, yeah, I think that Thrax was actually a pretty cool villain in the Osmosis Jones movie. A little bit of a lesser-known film, I believe, but still pretty good, I guess, you know, for an animated film. Let's go ahead and start off in India today. I don't do that very often, but we'll give that one a go. Transmissions are going to be blood, zoonotic shift fomites, pretty standard stuff there. For symptoms, joint pain, sore throat, runny nose, anemia, and rash. All right, and abilities, it is the standard building blocks right over there. All right. Well, this is where we're going to get started. Hopefully this ends up working out well for us. We're not starting with any meaningful amount of lethality, so we'll see how this goes. Now, the funny thing is, because I haven't played as the bioweapon in such a long time, it's entirely possible I'm not even going to remember what the default symptoms and such are for the bioweapon, so if there's something custom and truly unique in this scenario, I may not even know about it for a while, which is going to be kind of hilarious, because that's usually one of the things I would probably criticize, you know, if a scenario kind of releases and it doesn't have anything that's new in it, but in this case, might actually be a thing. I may have no idea. Do we want to go for the zoonotic shift and stuff? Do we want to go for saliva again? Do we want to go for the fomites? I mean, I feel like it's probably not a bad idea to go ahead and work on things like the rash and the sweating. If we get down to skin lesions, that's usually worth quite a decent amount of extra infectivity very early on, with an acceptable amount of severity at this stage. Profuse bleeding. This does feel different. I could be wrong. Again, it's been so long, but it feels different. Profuse bleeding is the destruction of clotting factors along with the compromised skin, results in blood pouring out of every pore of the body. Yeah, that's very, very, very severe, so we do not want to be picking that up anytime soon. But maybe once we've got ourselves a lot more traction, it wouldn't be too bad. It does have a decent amount of lethality that goes along with it, too. Just a decent amount. Not crazy, but just decent. I wouldn't mind going for things like blood and stuff like that, but, I mean, there's only a handful of surrounding poor countries. It's only going to do me so much good. The problem is the wealth in the urban countries are not really a thing either until we get into China. That doesn't seem very important. So we're going to go ahead and grab Saliva level 2 and then Air level 1, just so we can start getting onto some airplanes and try to get into some other continents just a smidge faster. I probably do want to go for a level of drug resistance, and we definitely will need that cold resistance as we start picking up a bit of gas. Now, we've already got a few million people infected, so Thrax is going. Hey, by the way, Thrax, it's already been more than 72 hours, just FYI. So, if you thought you were doing real good and you were hot stuff now, I'm just saying, you haven't really made a whole lot more progress, but that's fine. I've got the drug resistance level 1, so that's great. Now we're starting to get into Europe. This is where things like the fomites would be good. We're also in Japan, so it would probably make sense to pick that up. Now, the thing about the bioweapon is usually it has a ramping up lethality, right? And you're supposed to try and curtail that at least enough that you don't kill too quickly. The thing is, we've got no lethality here at all, and I've got no abilities to curtail, which makes me think that the entire purpose of the bioweapon has been somewhat subverted, let's say, just a little bit. Kind of weird. Do we want anemia? Do we want joint pain? Slow down the cure? I mean, that's a pretty good amount of infectivity, I think. No, wait, that reduces my infectivity. I apologize. Definitely not a good idea then. Sore throat, runny nose. I mean, there's a lot of things we could do there, but I feel like going for more air and some more fomites is just going to be good for me. This means that I should be able to spread very quickly to the arid regions, get on all of those planes, and of course, with drug 1 and a couple levels of fomites, I'm not too worried about most of Europe. Let's get ourselves at least 2 levels of cold resistance. So now we'll spread faster in places like Iceland and Russia. That'll be good. And then, do we care about going for the extreme bioaerosol? What does that lead to, by the way? I have no idea. Something special over here. Probably would hook up with some blood, but I'm not worried about any of that. Not yet. All right, it's probably time to go ahead and start thinking a bit about the, it's time to think about the symptoms. Let's go for anemia and hemophilia. We could go for internal hemorrhaging, but that's a bit lethal early. Let's go for runny nose. That leads to sneezing. Some of those respiratory symptoms are often really quite good, to be honest. And pneumonia, sneezing, and stuff like that, they're all very, very solid choices. Epistaxis, okay, I wasn't planning on that. We can pick that up. That will lead to hypnoptosis. Tiny bit of lethality, not a lot. One thing that will come back to bite me here pretty soon, and I can already tell you this is going to be the case, is the fact that I do not have very much mutation chance at all. I could see that becoming kind of a big problem. If we went for the zoonotic shift, we would be able to fix some of that, I believe, but increase the cure research speed, which no one's working on yet, so I'll go ahead and pick it up. Mammals, good for the rural. We could go for rodents for the urban, and birds just for land transmission. Let's pick that up, because that actually does make some things easier. Let's also pick up a level of blood, and I think that's all the transmission we're going to need for the entire game. We should have everything going for us to make sure that we spread in places like Africa and South America very easily. The only thing that I'm not going to be good at is water transmission right now. No water transmission, basically, at all. Okay. Sore throats and stuff. Do we go for that? Yeah, let's pick that up. That leads to hypersalivation. You would think you get a combo with the saliva, wouldn't you? That would make sense. Lethal diarrhea. Yeah, sure. Why not? We'll go ahead and pick that up. It's such a little bit amount of lethality, I'm not even worried about it. Immune suppression and stuff. Yeah, what we really care about is going to be things like the profuse bleeding, but I don't have... Well, we got it whether I like it or not. Okay, that leads to... hyperparaxia. Parexia? Okay, damage to the hypothalamus causes inability to regulate the body temperature, rapidly leading to a lethal fever of 108 degrees Fahrenheit. That is indeed very, very bad. I'm going to devolve this. This was too early. It's nice and all. It would have saved me 30-something DNA, but I'm not in places like Greenland, and I have no water transmission. If I don't get into Greenland, we're not going to be able to do much of anything. So too much lethality too early will cost me the game. They are going pretty fast right now on that cure, though, which does concern me. Let's get a level of genetic hardening just to slow it down. Come on, Russia. You got to send that boat. I see you hitting the critical mass. I see you hitting it. Go, go. Come on. Go over to Greenland. Go. All right, there's that. All right, I feel like we haven't got much choice. I kind of have to sit back and wait and hope here. Let's go for the extreme bioaerosol, since this is the only thing that gets me better onto boats. Come on, right now. Oh, and they closed down the thing. There was no chance. All right, that did not work. Let's try that one again, shall we? Little irritating. I feel like we had everything going for us there as far as Russia, but they were just a little bit slow to send out a boat. Maybe you do have to go for that extreme bioaerosol in that case. The extreme bioaerosol might be the only thing that increases my ship transmission rate. I shouldn't have held off on that as long as I did. Possibly. I don't know. It's just, yeah. It was worth a shot. You don't know until you try, right? Sometimes things just don't go your way. And in this case, they did not go my way, but that is okay. We also got a little bit screwed having some extra lethality mutate a little too early, which is hilarious since I was worrying that I wasn't going to get enough of the lethality very early on. I was going to have to spend too many points and have no mutation chance. But oh well, it's fine, it's fine. Let's just go ahead and keep going down things like the ration stuff. We did get into the UK a little early. We'll pick up some sweating and skin lesions, then I'll focus on my basic resistances and some fomites, work my way to that extreme bioaerosol, and we will see how things go. Of course, as soon as we get into places like Russia, that's when I need the cold resistance. I'll pick it up a little preemptively because we should be able to get in there. But that's usually your key, by the way, if you're playing on Mega Brutal. When do I need cold resistance? The second you're in Norway or Russia, you have to have it. I mean, it's good to have as early as possible anyway, but like when it comes to competing priorities, that's generally what I do, and it usually works out pretty darn well. And it really has been a long time since I watched Osmosis Jones. For those who don't know, it's kind of a little bit of a weird animated movie, but I mean, it's basically, you know, about a white blood cell inside of the body of this guy, and then, you know, Thrax, in this case the Red Death, does get into the body. He's going to basically take over and get this guy killed super duper fast. It becomes almost like a weird, like, internal body cop drama, kind of? It's weird in that way. It's actually pretty good, but it is a little bit bizarre, and I don't blame people for not remembering it. It was kind of lesser known back in the day. Come on, Russia, send the boat this time. Don't screw with me. Just send the dang boat. Send the boat. Are you gonna send the boat? You're at capacity. There it is. All right, so that's that. Good. So we're in good shape now. Now we can go ahead and start gradually ramping up some lethality. The question is, can I ramp it up too quickly? We can do profuse bleeding. We could do the pulmonary hemorrhage. Some of these are a little on the pricey side, I'm not gonna lie. They are a little bit expensive. But I think we're okay. Not worried about any particular region of the world. I just want to make sure that we kill fast enough to stop the cure in its tracks, but not so fast that we are unable to hit critical mass in places like Greenland. And considering it is currently killing very fast, that does scare me a little bit. So picking up the hyperparaxia over here seems like a very, very bad plan. We'll pick up hemoptysis. I could go for joint pain, and I will. Insomnia could slow things down a little bit. I do need to slow down the cure, but save plenty of DNA in the bank. So we'll go ahead and reset things just a little bit. Come on, Greenland, hit critical mass. You're the only thing slowing me down. Once I see we got a few thousand people infected here, we should be good to go. Not much longer. Where's that exponential curve? Where's that exponential curve? It's about to hit. It's about to hit. Slowing down a little bit. That doesn't make me feel good. Pick up insomnia. We can go for, I guess we could go for inflammation. Let's just go for another genetic reshuffle, slow it down a little bit, and we should be just about there. That's good enough. Okay, that's more or less what I was looking for. Now we go for the hyperparaxia. And delirium would be a pretty good option for us as well to slow down the cure even further, which I guess I will do. That sets things back down to about 80%. And they'll get a little bit higher before the entire world is going to die. Yeah, again, that took way more than 2 days, which is appropriate. I mean, in this scenario, can you imagine if you had to do all of this in 2 days? Woohoo! Be impossible. The fastest plaguing scenario ever, except for the one that literally just auto-completes and you click the You Win button, which is just like, who gets any particular sense of satisfaction out of something like that? I've got absolutely no idea. Yeah, I really, it's hard for me to judge how good this scenario really is in the sense that I really don't remember everything that is new. I feel like a lot of this in the symptoms actually is quite different. We'll check this in a second, and I'll just verify, is this a scenario worthy of praise, or is it an imposter? And/or my memory is too weak to remember. Oh, we somehow reset back down to 80% in the cure. Well, thank you for that last little bit of score. All right, 7 billion people dead, 3 stars, 501 days, 80% cure progress. Surprisingly good, actually, for brutal difficulty. Maybe I could have done this on Mega Brutal. I don't totally remember. Yes, tentatively, I will give this a thumbs up. Let's actually pop back into the main game real quick. Go down to the bioweapon, and we are going to find out just how difficult this actually is. So if I go down symptoms over here, yeah, no, it was a completely reworked tree. I was right. This whole thing was completely different. Okay, and so were the transmissions. So actually, yeah, no, this was a completely, totally reworked scenario. I think the only thing that's wrong with it is I think it makes perfect sense if Thrax is effectively a bioweapon that you are against the clock when it comes to the growing lethality. So taking these out of this made this effectively just into a regular bacteria or virus scenario. I think that having this as a little bit of extra pressure could have made this scenario even better. But as far as the fact that the transmissions and symptoms were completely unique and customized and did actually fit well with the theme, it did work. I think, yeah, actually, this scenario totally deserves a thumbs up, and I am quite happy with it. Thank you all very much for watching this quick video of Plague Inc. If you did enjoy, please consider hitting that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, hit that notify bell, and I will see you guys next time.